Welcome back to Crystal Clear on the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox, and Steven Universe Season 5 served to be the biggest and craziest season of the show yet. Within 26 episodes, we got the remaining 2 diamonds, a fabulous wedding, space adventures, tons of new gems, long-awaited poofing of characters to later reform of stars, revelations we waited years for. We got just about everything. Everything except for a new fusion. Well, we got Rhodonite and Fluorite, but to be more specific, a new fusion for Steven. At this point in the series, we've seen fusions for all the main crystal gems: Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl, and with the inclusion of Smoky Quartz, who debuted 2 years ago in the episode Earthlings, that only leaves 2 of them to fuse with our young protagonist. Now, with Bismuth and Lapis back in the mix alongside Peridot, we may see even more fusions between heroines down the line, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Before the narrative starts mashing together the newer crystal gems, newer in terms of when they joined the show, as Bismuth is a veteran, let's finish what we started with our core crystal gems. I know you guys may disagree, but to me, I would get a bittersweet feeling if Bismuth, Lapis, Peridot got other fusions with characters, including Steven, before the OG squad got all their fusions out of the way. Not including the big temple fusion just because that screams series finale. And now that we're on Homeworld under a setup where things can and probably will go horribly wrong, in a moment desperate to defend themselves, we could see a new fusion between Steven and another gem. So that begs the question, who's next when it comes to a fusion with Steven? Pearl or Garnet? At this point in the series, you can make an argument for both characters, why they're deserving of being the next in line for a fusion. So I thought it'd be great if we looked at both sides and try to surmise a good conclusion from it, and try to pinpoint who truly is the best candidate for a new fusion. So first, let's look at Pearl. Now, a fusion between her and Steven would and wouldn't be new all at the same time. Rebecca Sugar pretty much let slip that Steven and Pearl fused, it'd be a new version of Rainbow Quartz. Although I'd argue Rainbow Diamond sounds infinitely cooler and more accurate than the former name. The biggest thing is, Pearl fusing with Steven has a lot of emotional weight to it. While new fusions always have a warm welcome and tend to be some of the most exciting moments of the entire series, when it comes to Steven, they can't happen out of the blue. At this point, I don't think we even need to touch on the relationship between Pearl and Rose and how that impacts her relationship with Steven. Rose Quartz was everything to Pearl. Their relationship was ultimately something they could never achieve as Pink Diamond and Pearl. Pearl made so many sacrifices for Rose Quartz. They went into war together and ended the war together. And ultimately, Pearl felt as if she was never enough. That whatever Rose looked for, whatever Rose needed, she wasn't going to find it in Pearl. No matter how much that hurt the both of them. Pearl's journey throughout the show has been getting over Rose Quartz, accepting that Steven isn't Rose Quartz, that Steven has his own destiny, his own legacy to leave behind. By extension, so does Pearl. She no longer has to follow in the footsteps of Rose Quartz. She no longer has to put her on this pedestal. She no longer has to be defined by the secrets and lies. But here's the thing, there's still quite a bit about Pink Diamond we don't know yet. A lot about Rose Quartz we don't know yet. Information that Pearl more than likely has. Information that Steven lacks. Pearl knows how she feels about Rose Quartz, about Pink Diamond, but Steven still doesn't, even after all the new information he stumbled upon. This was established in the episode What's Your Problem? His feelings are definitely a lot more scattered than Pearl's. A successful, healthy fusion requires a genuine understanding. They need to be on the same page or else they'll fall apart. Pearl and Steven are getting close to that point, but ultimately, I don't think they're quite there yet. Neither for Pearl or Steven. And if they were to fuse right now, it wouldn't be a stable fusion. They would inevitably fall apart. And that's something they can't afford right now. I think once Steven learns all there is to know about Pink Diamond, at least the information at his disposal, and once he talks with Pearl and they reach a mutual understanding, only then will they be ready to fuse. But let's look at Garnet, the leader and heart of the crystal gems. Now, if you guys may remember, a few months ago, I talked about why I believe Garnet and Steven's fusion is right around the corner, why it's closer than we all think. Much like Amethyst's arc, which accumulated into Smoky Quartz, the focus on Garnet was amped up in Season 5. At the time of making that crystal clear, virtually every opinion we had of Pink Diamond through our protagonist were through her. We had pool hopping, an episode focused on how she's not sure about the future anymore, that ever since Steven turned himself in, she's felt very lost. She's been questioning everything about herself, her leadership. The future has given her a lot of anxiety. We had Your Mother in mind, an episode where Garnet shares her experience of the Gem War. As you guys know, the focus on Garnet only got bigger from there, as learning Rose Quartz was Pink Diamond led to immediate focus on Ruby and Sapphire, and by extension, Garnet, as Garnet's existence only continued because of Rose Quartz. Quartz. Everything accumulated into Ruby and Sapphire's wedding, where they decided to be Garnet because of their own accord. An arc where its events and actions were directly influenced by Steven. While all the crystal gems have been affected in some way, shape, or form, learning that Rose Quartz was actually Pink Diamond furthered Steven and Garnet's relationship more so than any other character in the series. Now, you can argue the wedding was the payoff to all this focus, and I wholeheartedly agree, but hear me out. One of the main takeaways before going to Homeworld was how uneasy Garnet felt. When Greg asked Garnet if Steven would be okay, the way she stated Steven will be fine gave off the vibe that she was not excited to return to her home planet. And it makes sense. She's a cross-gem fusion. The last time she was in front of multiple Homeworld gems, they viewed her as an abomination, something unnatural, something to fear. Now, luckily, she is accompanied by Yellow and Blue Diamond, who at this point may not exactly be on good terms with the crystal gems, but they're not trying to kill them either. And as they're under the impression these are Pink Diamond's friends, they may be safe. But as we just speculated on this channel, Yellow and Blue may be forced to turn against Steven by White Diamond's orders. And if that happens, the crystal gems no longer have that immunity. And Garnet being a cross-gem fusion, arguably a bit more offensive than a defective Pearl or an overcooked Amethyst. And you would not even be able to spot that Pearl's defective unless you recognize her as Rose Quartz's Pearl, the Rebel Pearl. The looming threat and danger definitely gravitates around Garnet more so than anyone else. Thus, if they were in a dire situation and really had to pull themselves together, I could see a Steven and Garnet fusion occurring. And now that we know that Steven has Pink Diamond's gemstone, cross-gem fusions are already powerful, but a cross-gem diamond fusion? Yeah, watch out, Homeworld. So personally, if you ask me, I think a fusion between Garnet and Steven is a lot more feasible than a fusion between Pearl and Steven. At least at this current point in time. If they decide to suddenly throw more Pearl development at us out of nowhere, but still have it make sense within the narrative, then it'd be a more even playing field. But I think both Pearl and Steven have a lot more emotional development to go through before they can face each other and come together to make a fusion that already has a lot of significance to it. Rainbow Quartz was assumably Pink Diamond, Rose Quartz's first fusion. Thus, in a roundabout way, it makes sense that it should be Steven's last fusion with the core crystal gems. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. Which fusion do you think is more likely to transpire next? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts directly to me at AwestruckVox, or at the Roundtable on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Roundtable Vids. If you want to help the Roundtable girls, support us on Patreon. Get access to exclusive perks and have your name featured at the end of the video like all these beautiful, wonderful people. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to stay in the loop with all things Steven. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox, out.